Looks like we're back in the 20th century. World powers are battling over a crucial resource. It's not chips or rare earths, it's oil once again. This week, Donald Trump fired the first shot. He put sanctions on two major Russian oil giants, something even Europe had not done yet. And yesterday, Vladimir Putin fired back. He called Trump's move an unfriendly act. He also admitted that it would have certain consequences. At the same time, Putin showed defiance. He refused to bow under pressure.
Yes, they are of a serious nature for us. Of course, this is understandable, and they will have certain consequences, but still they will not significantly affect our economic well-being. This, of course, is an attempt to put pressure on Russia. But no self-respecting country and no self-respecting people ever decide anything under pressure. And, of course, Russia has such a privilege to feel and consider itself on this list of self-respecting countries and peoples.
This is not what Trump wanted to hear. His goal was to pile the pressure on Russia to force Putin to make concessions. But the Russian president is unwilling to do that. He says he will not decide anything under US pressure. However, he kept the door open for talks.
The US president has decided to cancel or postpone this meeting. It seems he is talking about postponing it. I can say that a dialogue is always better than confrontation, arguments, or even more so, war.
This has been Putin's long-standing position. He wants to end the war via talks, but he won't budge from his red lines. And what about the other side? Well, Trump was supposed to meet Putin in Budapest next month, but this week he put that meeting on hold. It's a pause, not a cancellation. The White House is also open to more talks.
Between these two leaders is not completely off the table. I think the president and the entire administration hopes that one day that can happen again, but we want to make sure that there's a tangible, positive outcome out of that meeting, and that it's a good use of the president's time.
Now let's address three questions tonight. If both sides want to meet, why aren't they meeting? That's question number one. How is Russia bracing for Trump's sanctions? That's question number two. And what could Trump do next? The US president is looking for tangible outcomes. He wanted to leave Budapest with a ceasefire, and for that he proposed freezing the front line, basically stopping the fighting as things stand. Ukraine agreed to that, but Putin did not, which is probably why Trump postponed the meeting. He wanted a solution in Budapest. Putin wanted a process. That answers the first question. Question number two, how is Russia bracing for sanctions? Well, the latest ones are coming at a really bad time for them. Russia's GDP growth is almost zero, meaning the economy is stagnating. So today, the Russian central bank stepped in. They reduced lending rates by 0.5%. Moscow is hoping that this cut will boost the economy. Also, these sanctions have secondary impact. Say you're a bank in China or India or Brazil, and you finance Russian oil purchases. Then you could also face American sanctions. Look at what China is doing. Beijing state refiners are reducing Russian oil imports. Some are also abandoning Russia's shadow fleet. Do you know why? Because there's a ring of sanctions now. The US has sanctioned the Russian oil sellers, the EU has sanctioned the gas firms, and Britain has sanctioned the shadow fleet. The idea is to box in Russia's sales. But there's a problem. Russia supplies 4 to 5 million barrels of oil per day. If you take out some of that, the prices will rise. And we saw that this week. Oil prices are 7% up since Monday. And what happens when oil prices rise? Your inflation also rises. Everything costs more. So it's a battle of attrition between the two sides. Yes, Russia's revenues will be hit, but the US and its allies will also face inflation at home. Which brings us to the last question. What could Trump do next? On paper, he can put more pressure on Russia. How will he do that? By selling Ukraine Tomahawk cruise missiles. Kiev is desperate to get their hands on this weapon, and if they do, they can strike deep inside Russian land. Again, here's the problem. It comes with significant risk, and Putin warned against this move yesterday.
It's an attempt of escalation. If there are strikes with this weapon on Russian territory, the response will be very serious, not to say stunning. Let them think about it.
Those are strong words. Putin says there will be strong and stunning consequences. The question is, will Trump risk that? His intention to end the war is actually a good one. The problem is the process. Trump wants to keep both sides happy. He wants a deal that is appreciated by both Ukraine and Russia. But is that even possible? Russia is a nuclear power sitting on 1/5 of Ukraine's land. In what world would Putin give that up? Trump needs to understand this ground reality, and so does Ukraine. You can't gain on the table what you lost on the battlefield.
Want the facts?
The latest developments?
News that gets straight to the point.
Well, we've got all three just for you. This is Firstpost Live, a brand new show, your window into what really matters.
Don't miss it.